What's up, y'all? We doing the Grendel's podcast project. My name's Isaiah. After this last month, I'm gonna go to trade school for HVAC. This is my plans. Let him
And
introduce himself.
all right, my name is John Flynn. I'm a senior in high school. I'm a senior at Northwood too, and I plan on going to trade school as well in about 1-2 months. But yeah, we're talking about how Grendel is basically a big baby, and so we're gonna start off with how is Grendel evil? What is Grendel evil by nature or shaped by external thoughts? And so, me personally, I think that he is easily shaped by external thoughts because, he just kind of is like the wrong place, wrong time. Because first it was Shaper. Shaper was a good guy. Like he helped him look at the world better, and then he met the he met the dragon too, which just made him look at the world as like meaningless, no hope, and just basically like a bad world. And so that's why I think he's shaped by external thoughts and not by like evil by nature, even though his mom is technically evil. And then is Grendel a monster or just misunderstood? Kind of the same thing. He's just misunderstood. Nobody really understands Grendel. He's kind of just like a monster living in a baby's body. And no, he's a baby living in a monster's body, and he just don't know how to express or control his emotions.
Yep. I agree with what he's saying. He's not. Yeah. He's just not good at expressing his emotions, and he overthinks. I feel like a lot. Like he just digs himself into this tunnel of overthinking, and it makes it a lot worse. But another way to look at Grendel is through Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This is a pyramid-shaped theory that shows what humans need to live happily. At the bottom are basic needs like food and safety, and then comes love and belonging, and then the last one is self-actualization. Grendel has the basics covered, like he can find food, he's strong enough to protect himself, but he's missing like the middle part, like love, friendship, and belonging. He's totally alone. He has nobody, and that's obviously shown in the book. Um, no one also understands him, which is a big problem he seems to have. Um, that's yeah, it's a big reason why he's angry and so like sad and all of that. Even when Grendel tries to connect with the humans, they just reject him. They see him as a monster, and that just makes his existential dread worse because he wants meaning and can't find it in any others. So instead of finding peace, he gives up and starts just being the monster that everyone sees him as. He thinks that if that's the only way like people are gonna see him, then he wants to feel feared. That brings us on to the next psychological theory, which is existential psychology, existential dread. It's really just a feeling of deep anxiety or fear about having no like real meaning in life. It's in a short way. It's kind of like asking like, what's the point in all of this? Like, what's the meaning? Grendel feels like this a lot. He's not just some mindless creature who wants to kill people. He actually like asks himself really big questions a lot, like who he is, why he exists, and why the world is the way it is. The more he thinks, the more like alone and frustrated he gets. That brings me back to that tunnel of overthinking. I feel like it just makes it a lot worse. It connects with existential psychology, which is a theory that says people need meaning in their lives, and if they don't find that, they'll feel lost, anxious, or like angry.
All right, and then the next theory we have is Sigmund Freud's theory, and I chose ID or id because I don't know how you pronounce that, but that just says ID. And then I chose that one because that one's based off like. Oh, actually, let me explain this real quick. So it is the theory of which it's just like the basic drives and desires of somebody or something, and I said that he was under ID because he was like kind of underdeveloped, the baby. He doesn't really know what he wants, doesn't know what he needs, and he's just kind of lost. Like how Zay was saying, he doesn't really have a place in his life. He's lonely. He has no one like love on, no friends besides his mother. But he doesn't even like his mother that much as his mom likes him. So it doesn't really add up in that kind of way. But And then what else do we have? So we had to pause it real quick because we forgot to add the Eric Erickson's theory, but that theory is basically like his 8 stages of basically like your life from a baby to adulthood, and so I personally think that Grendel is in stage 5 because stage 5 as in identity versus role confusion, because he doesn't really know his role in life and he doesn't even know who he is himself yet. And so I feel like that's like his best spot. I mean, people can argue about putting him under trust and mistrust because of everything that happened throughout the book, but I just think that he fits better under stage 5 because he's lost, doesn't really know his passion in life, doesn't know his role, and doesn't know his meaning.
That I agree with that because that brings me to how old I think he is. I think Grendel's like 13 to 21 because that also includes like identity versus confusion. Grendel doesn't really know who he is and he's confused just about who he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I would say I kind of agree with Zay, but then I also disagreed a little bit because I was thinking he's more the 5 to 13 range because he still kind of acts childish. I won't say childish, but like he's not old enough to the point where he makes big boy decisions as he should.
yeah.
So that's why we think it's going to be. That's why we think he's like 5 to 13 year old range. But overall, we both thought the book was great. We thought Beowulf's book was better.
Yeah.
But because
definitely.
it was just a lot about Grendel talking about himself, his emotions and stuff. We weren't really as invested, but it was still a good book, and yeah,
It was
it was smooth.
it was alright.
Yeah,
It was alright. It won't good. It was alright. Beowulf was a ton better. But
yeah.
we at 7 now.